James Banks here for Up Close Gamers. I'm with Doa. He's just finished casting the Code S matches. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling great. Those matches were awesome. I loved watching them, especially the Hucknata match. That was one of the best series I've ever seen. So I just feel privileged to get to cast them, and as a fan, just feel thrilled to get to watch something like that.
So you say that like as a fan, you're a caster as well, but do you find yourself sometimes like just in awe of everything that's going on around you? Because I know when I got here, I was just like, whoa, like it's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's certain times where I'm like in the studio, you know, and things are happening, and like I can't believe that's an ST right over there, you know, that's MVP, that's Boxer, you know. I mean, getting to meet all these guys, it's just a fan's, you know, dream come true, and I think that's really important too, to not let that go. You know, I always want to feel that. If I start to come here and it's like not cool and exciting anymore, then you know I probably should be looking for another line of work. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean, I love it here. It's exciting every day.
So what would you say, since you've been in Korea, has been your highlight?
My highlight since I've come to Korea? Wow, that's... I don't know. I would say maybe if you could change the definition of highlight a little bit to be kind of a series of things. Okay. I guess getting to know some of the players has been the highlight of being in Korea. So getting to know a lot of the players on Slayers, getting to know those guys, they're great. You know, I'm having TSL Killer sit down and like teach me some Protoss openings versus Zerg and stuff like that, and that's the thing, is all the players here are so cool and so willing to talk with you, and they're all really enthusiastic to talk with you. So I guess meeting the players and the coaches for the Korean teams has kind of been the highlight of coming here, and the food.
So when you say about playing with and watching the players and getting to know them more, who is your favorite player?
It's tough. I don't know if I can have a favorite player, because I'm friends with a lot of these guys now. But there's, I guess, a couple of them kind of come to the top in terms of players I enjoy watching right now. MMA and Ryung, I mean, those are easily my two favorite Terrans right now. I love watching those guys play. And they're both, you know, really good guys too when you talk to them and kind of get to know them a little bit. Let's see. I picked two Terrans, so I'm gonna do one of each race. Then afterwards, I gotta figure it out. All right. So Protoss. I do like Killer a lot. I really like TSL Killer. I'm also a big fan of Trickster too. He's really fun to watch as well. And for Zergs, July is just, I mean, even when he all-ins, I mean, I'm not the type of guy where I need to see like a long macro game each game. I respect, you know, well-constructed, well tactically driven all-ins as well. And so July definitely comes to the top for Zergs. And of course, ST, I mean, he's on another level. Yeah.
Looking at the foreign team, we've got a lot of players coming over now. Who would you say is going to make a big impact of when they come to GSL? And is there any players you think, well, when they come here, there's not real much point of them being here?
Well, it's tough to name names. I think it all depends on the player's attitude, really. If they come to Korea and they, because here's what's going to come. Let me start that over. Here's what's going to happen when a foreigner comes to Korea. In all likelihood, unless they're the like tip-top foreigner in the foreign scene, they're gonna lose a lot. And I've talked to a lot of foreign players that have come over here, and that's one of the things they tell me, is there's this initial shock of losing like game after game after game on the ladder, just because they're not used to that, you know, from the European servers and the North American servers and things like that. And so if they can get over that and not get discouraged and say, all right, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, I need to step back and look at things and learn from it, I think then they're gonna have a lot of success with it. And I've seen players go both ways. I think one player that's gonna do really well here is Naniwa. I think he was one of the guys who talked to me. He's like, I can't believe how much I'm losing right now. This is just strange. But you know, he's definitely going to you know, rework his play. He's already been, you know, he's already told me he's been doing that. So I think in the end he's gonna do really well. Thorzane is already doing well. So I think he's going to continue to do that too, and I don't know, we just have such a rotation of foreign players coming through every month. It's hard to kind of keep track of everybody, but I'm thinking back to the World Championships now too, when we had all those guys out here, and I know Maro was kind of wanting to come back. I'd love to see him back here again. But Huck obviously, you know, did really well. Can't really say anything about that guy that we don't already know, but. Yeah, and as far as players that don't go too well, I don't know, we don't really need to talk about this.
Okay, so looking back to your casting career, what projects are you involved in now, and then what projects do you want to be involved in the future? If you've got any ideas, anything you can give us an insight into?
Well, one thing, I guess the big thing I'm involved in right now is the GSL. I mean, it's taking pretty much all my time. I mean, it's a full-time job. I mean, people see me cast for a couple hours a day, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of research that goes on. You know, I'm playing a lot, talking to the players a lot, the coaches, finding all that information to talk about during the casts and kind of consider when you're watching these guys play, you know. So it's taking up a lot of time. I've been doing some casting for a website called lastplayerstanding.com, which has also been a lot of fun too. Those guys are starting to do some open tournaments that are being really successful. They had some Korean players participating in this one that I'm casting right now. So they've got a bright future ahead of them, I'm sure too. And beyond that, what I'd really like to see happen is for us to at GSL and GOMTV to get involved in doing like player documentaries and different shows involving the players. And I don't know what the future holds for that yet, but I'd love to see something like that happen. I'd love to participate in that.
Okay, so what I like to do at Up Close Gaming is I like to try to offer some advice back to people. As a caster, there's loads of people out there trying to cast, they're trying to get involved in it. What advice can you give them to make it?
I guess my best advice is to, well, first of all, play a lot. Force yourself to cast as often as you can. I mean, it can be a little bit intimidating putting that stuff out there on YouTube for people to critique it, because you will get, you know, a lot of really negative criticism too. And if you can handle the negative criticism, then you'll do fine. I think for a caster too, one thing that we don't see a lot of people doing, which they should do, is working on their voices. You know, and there's a lot of things that are completely separate from video games involving speaking and voice work, vocal work, that players are kind of ignoring. And if we really want to have commentators that are, you know, going to be on that level as other sports commentators, they need to take care of their voices. They need to know how to do that. They need to know how to like cultivate and grow their voices, because that's something you practice just like any other, you know, muscle group in the body when you're working out for something. So I'd like to see more newer casters kind of focus on that. So that's what I tell them to do, I guess. Great, thank you. So any last words, anything you want to promote, anything you want to shout out? Well, I guess big thanks to GOMTV and the GSL for giving me this opportunity. You know, I'm going to work hard to continue to try to please the fans out there. My goal is to make the cast fun and exciting to watch, so I hope I'm doing that now. I want to continue doing that in the future. Of course, a huge shout out to my lovely wife, Juliana, who's still back in the United States right now. She'll actually be joining me very soon, hopefully within the next month or two. So it'll be great to have her out here again. I miss her a lot, so major props, the biggest props to her for letting her husband go off and chase his dream like this. So yeah, I mean, ultimate gamer wife, definitely. That's really nice to have someone so supportive. So thank you very much, Dar. No problem.